Good morning, good evening, and good afternoon. It's Shirley with Spirit of Matter. And before I go back to this screen, I'm always stopping to appreciate the stars as I'm recording. And right now, the ascendant is ruled by retrograde Venus. No, but by retrograde Mercury. Even better. Um, with Mercury here in the fourth house still, Jupiter hour, and this is Venus. It's a Mars night, so Venus turns into Mars night. So it's ruled by retrogression and opposition to Neptune. Going to be funny, and I'm going to take advantage of this episode to give a shout out to Christopher Chow, who is an astrologer, a magician, and he offered an experiment to take the lot of unraveling, which is basically the distance from Pluto in your natal chart to the sun, and project it from the ascendant. So basically, you take rising sign plus sun minus Pluto. So I'm going to try and do that, and this lot shows where we tend to cause our own unraveling. So I don't know how it means unraveling, because it's unraveling, it's not undoing, but I guess it's kind of like stripping something to the essence. And then he gives his example around money issues. I have to admit, I'm also beginning to spiral when it comes to money issues, so maybe I will have second house as well. But for me, it's kind of like I get to the core of something. It's kind of like I have sometimes a bit of a breakdown or a crisis, but then I get to like the really core of something. And in the second, I have Mercury opposition Pluto. Like you watched my video today, if you have, okay, just look for that. This was 2 hours. No need to more. So let's try and do this. I'm gonna go back to astrosig.com, log on to my own account, and try to computate ascendant plus sun minus Pluto. And the way I go about this, I will do chart, and then there is the lots. So lots, all kinds of, when you try to do something quickly, but it doesn't seem to work quickly. Harmonic, heliocentric, traditional, Arabic lots. Oh, it's right there, but I was trying to go elsewhere. So list the formulas. Well, it's ascendant plus sun, but here minus Pluto, and it doesn't change for night sect or day sect. I'm not gonna try and explain it now, but it just means that whatever you can do it for whatever chart. You just go to astrosig.com, do just as I did. It was ascendant plus sun minus Pluto, and this is the lot of unraveling. For me, it is in the 8th house. I was close, because we said second house is basically your skill and income, and 8th house is intergenerational wealth, or the lack of, or the intergenerational story around wealth, inheritance, the shared wealth that you have with another. So I have this lot in Libra, 10 degrees in the, well, this is 7th house here, but I use whole signs, so that would mean 8th house. And yeah, now let's see if I can do zodiac releasing from this lot. How do I do zodiac releasing from this lot? There has to be solar arcs, perfections, full moons, transit charts, but I know he has zodiac releasing. So let's see. Is there a way I can do this? First of all, the ruler is Venus, and Venus is now retrograde, and that means that I'm flipping over my issues of the 8th house, which I do feel. I have been seeing stuff around. Oh, I have been watching the videos of, there's this nurse who is a hospice nurse, and she shares a lot of stories from the hospice. And I have been seeing some stories around birth and more information around birth. And just today, I saw a video about women, pregnant women in the hospice, and kind of like why would a pregnant woman be in the hospice. And it's kind of like very eighth house, it's birth and death. So um yeah, and my lot is in the Mercury term. So 10 degrees is already the second phase or the second decan of Libra. uh yeah, so eighth house, it's birth, it's death, um it's traumas, which I actually have to admit that I am dealing with. Kind of like I'm straining the position of my feet, and even today I was thinking about and crying my heart out. Um, I'm not going to put that right now. You know that all my videos are trigger warning everything, because I even though I was in situations where everything was triggering to me, now it's kind of like crossed a certain threshold where I'm not really able to restrain my talk about this when it comes up. It kind of like it needs to get out of the body. So all of my channel is trigger warning everything, and I have a lot of very good friends that don't watch my content and are not like following me on social media because of that, and that's just the way it has to be right now. So yeah, much rather to have you save yourself than to have, you know, another subscriber and to hurt somebody. Is not the point. But I also cannot, you know, do a trigger every time, because I will just spontaneously talk about something. So this is very eighth house, um, with Venus now in my sixth. So the way the connection between labor and market, and labor kind of like the labor and the process of birthing, fertility, which is also Venus, children. Oh my gosh, this issue is very, very big, and it's beyond raising awareness to both child labor and child trafficking. But it's also finding out more of the things that we can do. First of all, to be aware that this is global pandemic, and that a lot of our trusts financially. Oh, just today I was talking with someone. A lot of our trusts financially are based on the trust between people is based on um, many parties being offenders against children, and they kind of trust each other not to leak information, and then they trust each other financially. And so like the way to conceive birthing of trust goes through trafficking of children, hurting children, violating children, and trading children. And I'm like, well, this needs to change. Like we really need a safer place for children to come into the world. But now let's see if I can do zodiac release. And I did feel like all my life is like falling apart. So I can imagine that I'm supposed to see something in zodiac releasing. I'm gonna open another window and I'm gonna do Astro 6 zodiac releasing. Um, I find this to be amazing technique, and it's very, very detailed. Yes, I want to release from a lot of unraveling. Is there a way to do so? Oh, so I will have to probably release from Libra, which is the sign ruling. I will release from Libra because this is the sign ruling, and I will do from releasing sign, uh, and hope for good, because Libra is ruling this lot, and perhaps now the thing with zodiac releasing is that there's a way to calculate them. They calculate a year as 360 days, not 364. This means that when you have a mistake, even in a couple of minutes in your ascendant, it gathers through to very big errors in the graph that you're doing. So you really have to know to do rectification, which I still need to learn. Um, so I don't use it as a timing technique with clients, as I don't know, like it would be useless if I don't know rectification, but still. So from Libra, let's try and see some things. First, oh my god, the first thing is something, okay, very interesting. So I was born on May 6, 1984, and level 1 of Libra, of course, is from my birth, um, because maybe I don't know, it's the 8th house, so of course the level 1, the first birth, it would be with Libra, because that's like when I was born. But now that I think about this, when you think about a lot of unraveling, where you kind of like fall apart, if that's what he was intending, um, I had a joke with someone who was a good friend of mine, and we were in uni, and I was beginning to tend to recovering from CPTSD, and of course, if you need, like, I don't even want to say trigger, because if I say trigger, you get to feel that I will say trigger all the time, and I can't assure that, so I won't say it. Anyway, we were talking, and I was saying, like everybody has a CPTSD or PTSD or trauma from something. You're like, my trauma is that I was born, and yeah, there's absolutely, like, my natal chart is absolutely weird, but everybody is in a way. So I was just thinking about, this lot of unraveling being in my 8th house, which was when I was born. Like, it's the birth. Um, then that would be those would be the levels, and so level 1. Level 1 was before. Oh my god, I'm sorry. The timing here is quite interesting, I have to admit. So 1992. Okay, I was born in 84, 1992 until 2007, January 6th. Um, okay, so this was level 2, and this was Scorpio. Um, yeah. Okay, it's just like, it was not easy years, but it's not like I can point at my life as something that was easy years. Level 1 in Sagittarius would be from 2007 to 2018. Again, the very traumatic periods, but it's like the entirety of it. And then level 1 in Capricorn would be from 2018 until 2045, which is the level we are in. So, you're kind of like, okay, that was many years, that was many years. This is a lot. and, and this is where I'm at. So it's Capricorn. It has been so since 2018. Then in 2021, I moved to level 2 in Aquarius. Oh, this is interesting, because we have the culmination. Okay, that culmination in September 13, 2005. I don't know. Like, I don't remember what happened. Maybe at work or something. Probably at work. I was probably moving to the south or something like this. Like, I don't know. Something to do with work and my health, which was horrible. It's in terrible crisis all the time. And then May 7, 2001. I don't know how old was I in 2001. And this was Taurus. May 7, 2001. I don't know. Yeah, like there were many things traumatic, but I don't know. And then there we had Gemini, pre LB, July 23rd, 2015. Mm. And that was around the time where I began to be Me Too veteran. There would be Me Too veteran, but that was like around the time, I think. Yeah, it was probably around the time of when I was assaulted. Yes, absolutely. So it's Gemini. This is interesting because, oh yes, there was like, I have Chiron in Gemini. This is fourth house, whole sign speaking, and this is home. And I also had to cut away, like to cut contact for 2 years with one of my parents because they were Pluto Leo generation. They did not identify that I was what I was going through, and I had to break free from the violent, like, attempt to put me in trauma bond and so on and so forth at work. So I had to basically release contact from my home for 3 years. Um, yeah, March 14, 2017. That would be Cancer. Yeah. November 4, 2018. So that would be, yeah, already the time where I began to, I think, yes, this was the time where the transition with the They Don't Know What's Energy was psychologist that through this very harsh trauma, I discovered that there is a very big problem of child trafficking globally. Okay, just to. Okay, I'm not gonna say I already talked about what was, but this is what came out of it. And so level 2 was on January 22, 2021. Uh, I don't know. And July 11, 2023. So this was very recently. It's level 3 with Pisces of this lot of unraveling. Oh my god, this is interesting because today I was thinking this is one of these points where I could say trigger, but again, I don't want you to grow expectation that I will be able to always say trigger, so okay. Um, and and it's trigger everything, okay? Please save yourself. So I was thinking about when was Rao in my first house with the eclipse cycle, and the times where Rao was in my first house. I think both of them I went through something like assault, and was very traumatic. So it's like all I got from Rao in my first house was assault and uh, damage to my identity, actually, to be able to be me. Um, and so the first time was Rahu there. I was probably around either between ages 9 to 12, and then 2007, I think, 2007 was again situation that was very, very, very problematic. But life goes on. And yeah, so this was July 11, 2023. I can't recall anything in particular around this time, but also I can hardly remember anything. It's just life is so intense right now that I can hardly remember anything in particular. And they say here July 5, 2024 is Aries. And I now have eclipses with Rahu in Aries, so this more um, uh, thinking about income, about entrepreneurship, and also have Mercury there, which is the ruler of my 7th and 4th. So thinking about that and thinking about relationships or whatnot. Um, yeah, now it could be that the whole thing is not so accurate. The the LB thingy is in 2028, and the LB, like loosening of the bonds, which is like a peak period, is going to be in 2036. Well, let's first live until 2036 and then talk. But I don't have any LB thingy until 2036. Yeah, and if I live really long, then 2062. Um, so this is kind of a lot of unraveling, which is in the eighth house, which makes it even more unraveling-y. But again, I don't know if I have like the black minute of the ascendant and how much can I like rely on that. Um, and so I don't know what happened again, I don't remember what happened in 2001. 2005, I do know something with work. 2015, absolutely something with work and home. Alle zusammen. Um, and 2000. Um, I wanted to say 2028. Yeah, that was like the last. So definitely I can say that 2015 was correlating with something. In 2005 too. It was when I was trying to treat myself actually. And 2005, 2006, I was leaving a job that I had because there was a lot of things. They were doing something unethical financially that my body could no longer. I didn't agree to do this, and I was not even able to speak about this. Like I was just so mad and so furious that I was just like, you know. And then we moved, and I did not find a job, and I had problem with my feet, and nobody believed me, and I got all kind of weird jobs, and then eventually I would be harassed at a job, um, but that would only be like 2008. But 2005 was when yeah. But then on the other hand, I edited my mother's book, and we did door to door, and then we traveled to Europe in 2007. So it's just like unraveling. It's like I was leaving a bank, which is very credit card company, which is very eight housey, and eventually doing some creative project. And contributing to creative. But I also wrote a screenplay that took, with the movie, took like the first place in LA Film Festival. I did the marketing for there. So right now I'm kind of drained. And it's funny because before I logged onto Twitter, I wanted to say, it is just a person like me who find it difficult to have communication with people and relationships. That should be happy to do with AI, and maybe I could flourish here. But it's just this person like me that is kind of like understanding that we should do more than AI, that we should do economy of people, and people being happy rather than only AI instead of people. So I began to watch like these shorts that were manufactured by AI. And so then I just logged on to Twitter, and then Christopher posted this, and I forgot about anything. But now that I think about this, I kind of remember my filmmaking crisis, um, and 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 this. But on the other hand, that when I was kind of like the mastermind behind the play, I did the marketing, I did the screenwriting, and people got to watch this movie because of the marketing that I did, and I'm like, I'm not doing any of it for my own like stuff. and and that is half annoying and half kind of like I'm tired. I'm tired and retired. um so yeah, that is this thinking. And before I did this creative work, I was not able to work. I was not able to stand on my feet. Nobody believed me. I didn't want to sign unemployment. I wanted to work, and they just didn't accept it that I have this problem with my feet. I said I want to work. If I could sign unemployment and get money for 6 months, I was working for a bank. Yeah, so I didn't do it. I didn't agree to do it. I said I want to work, but no ability to work. And eventually I had to work in a creative project and do what I can do, which is creative, being creative, and did editing of kind of like advisory and editing for my mother's book. Today, if you would ask me to edit a text, I don't think I even know how to do this. Being honest. But then I did this, and I wrote a screenplay, and we did door to door. So we did already also sales, and then with the money we flew to Europe, which was actually around my Sadasati. We flew to Europe. This was very important to me. That I will be with my parents and travel. Felt a deep calling. Also, Pluto was going over my midheaven, which is in Sagittarius, so traveling. But then that is what I get from here. So definitely 2005 was important, and it's probably when I also did the screenplay for the sales, where you have a screen, where you have a kind of like a script that you write for the sales, because I identified an option, and in a way to gain money in a way that was actually fair for our clients. And I took all my frustration that I had to do outgoing calls instead of incoming calls, and I took all this frustration and built this script, and it was transferred around like everyone, and they were thinking to close us, but they kept it. And still today there is this multi-card in Israel that is still existing, but I cannot say I'm proud, because I know that they did things that are no longer ethical, and I cannot sign my name on. So yeah, if you ask me, did I have a credit card? No, I did not have a credit card, and this was true also when I was working there. I did not want a credit card. I said we should buy things in cash. I still say this today. We should be able to afford land, house, cars with cash, with ease. It should not be a problem. This is what I'm striving for, and this is something that I honestly believe in. I am informed of credit score, which, by the way, they did not teach us, and yet I think that the underlying thing is that we should not have to use credit to have land, to have housing, to have means of transportation, and so on and so forth. Uh, yeah. Anyway, so that was 2015, and all those mini levels again, they come up. It's not that nothing happens in them, but it's kind of like a processing phase, where if my level 2 is now with Pisces, then I think about that time where when Rahu was in Pisces, the traumas that I had around that, or the traumas around my path or my identity or my feet. Even I'm tending to my feet a lot, and understanding the structure of my feet. And I will not give you the entire trigger, but it's very, the structure. Oh, okay, I will give you this. I'll trigger everything also for people who survived like anything to do with nuclear energy. I was thinking of the visions of like Hiroshima and Nagasaki, and kind of like the freeze and fade of humanity there. And there's something about the skeletal system which is capturing something. And when you think about the trauma, if I look at my skeletal system, where it's kind of like the body is turned inwards, while the arch of the foot is high. And as I'm tending to that, traumas come up from childhood, including sexual traumas, and it's basically almost like it's like a person that's kind of being punched, and they crunch in, and then the soul kind of like is detached a bit from the body, and so literally the arches of the feet go up. And the skeletal system kind of like preserves traumas, and it's not trauma, it's traumas, um, and then to calm down to earth, to calm down to the body, and to tend to the skeletal structure, and to give love and to change with love, to change my own being with love, so that I can set foot on the land and set foot on the ground, is a process, and is a lot of grieving, and it's just, you know, today is like in the recent days I was just understanding that it's like this is why it's so hard. This is why it's so difficult, even to find the right things that I need to do, or then to the right things that I need to do to realign the structure of my feet. Um, and kind of like, whoa, there are many stories and many people. I'm not saying everybody with a high arch is just like that, but it's kind of like this is what trauma does to the body and to the skeletal system. So that is very very related to this unraveling thingy of the eighth house and having a Pisces period. Yeah, that seems to be spot on. um, why am I looking at September 6, 2012? It was also Pisces period, and then September 1, 2013. I don't remember. Probably there was something there. um, it's kind of like the Virgo Pisces axis because the sun was in Virgo. um, like there was probably something, and I don't know. So yeah, like all of those, it's just periods, okay. um, but maybe in a way I felt a bit more free when I was in university, and the first degree before the Me Too mentorship, which happened in the second degree. Then I felt more free. um, is I was just like, I like studying. So maybe that was a time where I was slowly able to feel more free, or to feel that I'm more in my shine zone. So that was something that was positive with this one. And look, this is in Sagittarius, so Sagittarius freedom. I didn't even connect the two. Okay, I was just looking at the time period. I was like, I remember, but I remember being free, and this was the L1 of Sagittarius, which is about liberation, and freedom. Um, and then 2013, it's like there were some good things happening, but also some tremendous awareness. And I think around 2013 and maybe 2014 there would be a time where I would write, I don't have myself, I'm not even alone. So there was this tremendous awareness of those birthing traumas, or whatever, um, eight house themes. So yeah, that was incredibly triggering for a lot, I know, and thank you for this lot of information. So this is also an example of doing zodiac releasing and kind of like looking at periods in your life, through this timing technique. And sites like astrosig.com, also astro.com, they make it literally accessible for people like me, who, if I had to do it with something to computate, oh my god, like it would be a satire. I count like Falstaff, okay? So that is, very very blessed. I'm truly appreciative of it. And you can see, even with my not rectified chart, I still got somewhere. So I don't know if I will be using that with clients, because I feel like I need to do rectification before I can attempt that. Um, but I definitely felt that releasing from a sign, I got somewhere. Now, with the lots, I must give you a word of caution. Lots are basically timing techniques where you get into what we call concrete event astrology, and those are predictive. Okay, if it's not cautionary tale enough for me, for you to listen to me talking about this, it is quite cautionary, um, and it is concrete events. So when you release from a lot, okay, I will do another simple example, and that is, let's release from the lot of courage. Okay, lot of courage. So this is a Martian lot, and I had an LB on September 4, 2001. I don't know. There was this period until September 24. We all know what September 11. It was 2001, right? So I totally remember what happened. No, it wasn't 2001. September 11th was 2001. Yes. Oh my God, the times. Oh my gosh, this is a really fast moment. I was thinking about Rabin's murder, which was when I was 12, and that was around also the year of the death of my grandfather, and that was, I think, 95 or 96. And I was literally thinking, oh, 2001, but this was before 1996. And this is such a Falstaff moment for me. Maybe you think Mercury retrograde, but oh no, you better bet I can do this when Mercury is direct. I have talent, okay? So, yeah, so we are looking at a lot of courage. 1993 is the pre-LB, and I was in my third or fourth grade. It's probably something happened here that I don't like to talk about. I don't see it as a lot of courage for me. If somebody saved me from being kidnapped as a child, if this was when it was. Um, but also, maybe I had my first flight. I know when I was 12, I had my first flight to Netherlands, but still, I don't see it as a courage. I don't think I did anything courageous in 1993. Maybe I did something stupid, and I tell you what, when I was in fourth grade, I was climbing, I was doing gymnastics, okay? And I really like to do gymnastics on everything, so there was this pole, and it was, if I would hang on it and flip, then my feet would not touch the ground. But then my hands, it was summer, and my hands began to slip. And then I had to fold myself backwards, which I managed to do. And I'm still alive to tell about this. And this was incredibly stupid, way beyond belief. I should have known by that time that this was not a good thing to do. And yet I am alive to tell about this, so it's the grace of God or whatever that I'm alive. Is definitely not through my courage, it's through my stupidity. But this is what I remember. 1998 culmination, again with Libra. I don't know, we traveled from 1997, we had a travel, and then maybe 1999 we had a travel. This is not my courage, it was my parents saying, pack your bags, we're going, which is great. So, but maybe when I think about this, I don't know. 2001, September 4 to September 24, this was, and again, I don't see it as anything courageous. There was this September 11, and I was an X-File with the PH, and I was doing screenwriting by then, and I was kind of like very shocked and felt like this is way more, intense, although I didn't personally, fortunately, knew anybody that was there. And I think I told this story. I was working for McDonald's, and we were mixed cities. So there was this guy who, I guess his own teenagehood thingy was he wanted to join a guerrilla war, and he was working at the kitchen. So at the kitchen, he was holding this big knife, and he was very jolly about like September 11, and I was very shocked. So I just came and like, what are you jolly about? Well, like, what are you happy about? And he just took his knife and started to threaten me. I didn't sleep for 3 days, and I had to go back to work. You know, and this is funny because later he was friends with the right wing Russian Israeli girl, and they were switching jokes like around, and I'm like, me being this kind of like pretty much lefty, being threatened by this knife because I dared say something about him. And this was pretty much about respect, but it's kind of like, you expect me to respect you when you are making fun of people dying. Um, and yeah, and it was not just, Arab people doing that. There were a lot of people who think that, oh, now the Americans know what is terror. uh, no, 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 no. 5,000 people dead in one, like, well, no, it doesn't matter that the government did it. It's just like, no. Our government does it too. Never mind. So yeah, but what I'm saying now, okay, maybe my lot of courage was that I told him, what are you what are you doing? But it was not courage, it was just impulsivity. So I don't think I was courageous in particular, but that was the moment that I remember. um 2006 culmination. Well, 2006 I was courageous at work, and I was working for a credit card company. So I was like, oh yeah. This was a time where I did have to showcase courage. And it's funny, kind of like I had to stand my ground, and my disability was not being able to stand on my feet. I was able to walk but not stand. And I had to stand my ground that I can't stand on my feet, and that I still am not going to do something unethical for a credit card company. And I'm like, no, I'm not going to do that. And it's like, I'm not going to sign unemployment. I want to work. I just want to work in a way that I can work, that is actually good for me. um and it's like, I was thinking like I could do any job, but what job can I do physically with my body? And that was 2006. And so yes, I was courageous in 2006, absolutely, like in every single way I was courageous. um and I had to say no to somebody who was sort of like kind of a dating me and had weird ideas about love, but that was already, would be prolonged to 2007. um but yeah, that is a time that I do remember more than the LB, although in the LB I was probably way more courageous than I knew. But yeah, it's just something that I don't understand. And 2019 December 21, the pre-LB. I know where I was. you know but it's interesting that it says 2000 December 21 until July 21, 2020. Oh, I exposed, they don't know what's energy. Oh my god. And now I have some time before 2028. So if I look at this lot of courage. Oh, and I have a culmination in November 8th, 2023. Thank you for letting me know that. I don't know why I need to know that. Um, but you see, this is what happens when you release from the lots. This is concrete event astrology. This is the stuff that I run away from. Because it really does tell you things like, this is happening. This is a peak period, and a peak period, it doesn't mean something good or bad, it just means something's gonna happen. And I definitely had to show like 2019, I literally exposed they don't know what's energy. Like, I literally went out and spoke, and I was going through torture, and I spoke up even louder. And yeah, I can see how that was. And this is only a pre-LB. Oh, you know. So it's like, this ain't nothing yet. This ain't nothing. You ain't seen nothing of me yet. Um, yeah, yeah. When I was thinking, about 2001 again, it's like I was not understanding what I was doing. And in such moments, people say courage. You are afraid, but you do it anyway. And when I was thinking about this person, his name was Salih, which is funny. I used to call my turtle Salih. But this, uh, I'm basically coming to a person who confessed to me that he wanted to be in a guerrilla war like Hamas or Jihad. Was basically like wanting to be what Israelis consider terrorists, and telling him when he's holding like big knife in the kitchen, why are you so happy? So people are dead. And of course, Israelis, we talk with the hands, and Arabic people, they need respect. So if we do something with the hands, they consider it disrespect. But we talk with the hands. It's not about disrespect. So of course, I was probably raising my hand, like, "What are you doing? Like, why are you smiling?" I think I was more courageous than I know, because like this is people, it's 5,000 people poofing out. It's kind of like in between A-bombs and terror attacks. This is probably the kind of like an in-betweenish scale of massive death. And yeah, it's kind of like, of course I speak up. Of course I speak up. For some reason, I don't know. It's not of course, but I spoke up. So yes, I did not understand how courageous I was. But yeah, and when I think about 2019 being pre-LB and having a culmination in 2023 November 8th, I'm like, so it's kind of like in 2028, it's kind of like, okay, what I've been doing in 2019, you ain't seen nothing yet. Yeah, when it comes to doing the right thing, it's like an impulse for me. It's like I'm scared, but I already did it by the time that I'm scared. So this is a lot of courage, and it's Mars ruled, and it's where you are, speaking up, I guess. I didn't even need to see this 2023 thing. And the Libra was from March 13, 2023. I don't know. I think I had the 2 channels opened and I was seeing things around like traumas, but yeah, I think I've already been talkative in 2022. Just Virgo. I have been courageous in 2022, But now it says culmination on 2023, November 8th. And this is Scorpionic, so did I have any Scorpionic culmination? No, I had PLB in Libra. And now, 2009. October 22, 2009. Will we move to the south in 2009? Was I courageous? I don't know. Compel, culmination. What is completion? What is, I don't know. I mean, it was definitely a peak period in my life. Was I courageous? I don't know. Was I showing this Capricorn until 2010, December 16. Look, it was very difficult time for me, difficult with jobs, difficult with everything. I don't know, probably I did something weird, like, one of these stunts that I did, but I don't remember them. Yes. Yeah, but 2019 until like 2021, I can definitely say that this girl has been through shit, and this girl has only spoke even with more detail, even about the core issues, even about. So November 18, 2023, and this is Scorpionic stuff, so maybe about something abroad, Maybe I will re-tackle what I've seen, what was shown even. Um, yes, and then I have some time until 2028. So this is a lot of courage. What's more? Let's do some more lots. A lot of victory? Let's do a lot of victory. What does it mean even? So I had 1992 pre-LB. Like I definitely had a period. This is Aquarius. It can be if this was. It was second grade, so I'm not sure. I think it was more like I had been experiencing something that was kind of like in my favor. This was August 22. It was not in school. Look, I don't know. Maybe I set boundaries to someone. I don't know. April 28th of 1997 culmination. Lot of victory. Well, we were abroad then. I wouldn't remember Taurus, so there's a couple of things that I can think of, but I honestly don't remember. Maybe I saved my pets from a canal. That's the that's pretty much where we were. So probably I was the person to rely on because I could grab the dog from the canal and do the same thing under crisis. And then the LB for the lot of victory was in 2001, September 4 again, but here it is until 2003. September 4 again, LB. So what was happening in September 4? It was not September 11th still. I had a victory over something. I don't know what it was. Come on, I don't know. 2012, April 9, pre-LB. So I was probably doing some exams for university and getting good grade. Kind of like being able to study. This was a big win. This was a big win, big victorious over, I wish for you easier victories to get the funding because I had the good grades, but my problem was financial. And what I was going to study, it was not, it's something that probably take more years. It's probably take on 50 years to understand those things, because I wanted to study physics. 2015, February 23, culmination. Oh, this probably February 23, February. Look, I don't know. Until 2016, because everything is so mixed. Maybe I finished my first degree and got like this is Gemini. I don't know. Oh, maybe something around housing. I know that there was this conflict. We were 3 roommates, and there was some conflict, and then the manager, which was Libra Sun, she was going to me and she said that I will move out. She said, and I told her, why do I have to move out? Why do I have? She said, no, dear, I see you are older, you're more mature, you need a place of your own. And so she took me out of this roommate apartment to my own apartment, and she kicked somebody else out, which is like, this was the harsher side of Libra. She had a conflict with someone, she kicked her out, and then she put me there. And I was, I guess, on her good side. So I was coming out victorious in the sense that I got like my own apartment alone in the volunteering project. It was not, and I was not aiming for that. I was just trying to live well with people. So I guess that probably what it meant, because Gemini is 4th house for me. May 27, 2020. May 27, 2020. Pisces. Look, this was... Oh my. May 27, 2020. It was COVID. I would not be in Netherlands until 2022. And the end of 2021, December 22, 2021 is when I was traveling. And I knew that it's going to be on this date, so it's kind of like it was channeled to me. It was very weird. And 2020, May 27, LB. I don't think I was doing Spirit of Matter by then. And Pisces, probably something was there, so something big that I don't remember. And this is what I have right now. We're in 2023, and we're in between the Scorpio to Sagittarius. So since June 11, we are in the Libra place, which is again accentuating the Libra place for me. And I'm being victorious around like my traumas and stuff, and hopefully around finances, and to some extent the next level is career. So something to do with something abroad, but yeah, the Libra period was October 14, 2022 to June 11, 2023. But this was already when I was in Israel. So something to do maybe with finances. I have no idea. Oh, no. I don't know. But yeah, that is interesting. The lot of victory, I'm still unsure. But when I went to Netherlands, I was like, you need victory. And I kind of felt like something was interfering in my channeling. And I kind of feel like maybe this lot of victory, was there something in 2015? Yes, I kind of feel like somebody felt that I was victorious over them, and they kind of wanted me to have a lose situation. But it's kind of like, no, I was not victorious over you. I was victorious over the situation that had to do with me being sexually harassed. Um, and and that's what it was. Like, you just don't harass people sexually and so on and so forth. So it was kind of like very weird, and yeah, I mean, and this lasted until 2016, October 15. Um, so yeah, there was just like weird stuff. Um, and that's just the way it is. It's kind of like it was fated that there would be a Me Too, and it was fated that I'd actually try to warn the person. I said to him, if you don't change, some crazy person will come out, and I didn't know I will be the crazy person. You don't want to be the crazy person. Like, you don't want to be doing these things. Anyway, but that was what it was, and I suffered a lot. It's not like I even considered like a victory. I did consider being victorious over the situation. You won't silence me. It's like I have to speak up to heal myself. It's not even about you. So yeah, a lot of fortune. This is what those things can do. Now, feel free to like jog off. I'm just whatever if you're interested. 1993 again showing up, pre-LB, lot of fortune. I know what happened, enough of it. 1999, 1998, the culmination. Yes, we were traveling there. I think that something also almost happened like when we were traveling in Italy, and it's probably meaning to that. Skip it over. I don't feel like talking about this. 2001 again. Look how many things on September 4, 2021. What was I doing in September 4, 2021? Look how many things. I don't understand this. What? It's just because I was telling a guerrilla warrior person, like, why are you being happy that people are... It's like, why is it so important? Cancer is like the motherland. I don't understand, because look how many things lead to this September 4, 2021, which was the area of the of the trade centers thing. Yeah, know that this was this. I insisted on going to university. Maybe it's that. I was already a student in university. I was doing filmmaking, editing, but it seems to me like it's this case, and I'm like, I don't understand what was so pivotal about me saying that to this guerrilla warrior. Maybe it's becoming something like important in one of those places. I don't know, but I was a lot less brave than this right wing woman who was just sitting with him and being besties. So I honestly don't get it, but I can't ignore that so many things are linking to this period in my life. And I'm like, it's probably, if I remember that, then it's probably something really, really important that happened in my life. And I'm like, why is that important? Why is it that important that I said that? Why is it that important? I remember that I was not sleeping for like 3 days. But it's like, why is it that important? Like, why? You know, I don't understand this because it seemed to me like this woman that was speaking with him and being besties was a lot more effective, probably, than I could ever have been. But this was any lot that I release from leads to this period. And it was only the September 11. And the way I was connected with September 11, I didn't know anybody that was in the trade centers, is by telling this person, that we're working at McDonald's, just like, why? And it was a moment of shock for me because I didn't expect his reaction and his joy that so many people are dead, that he doesn't know even. And yeah, I mean, most of them were like employees. They were not even like, big shots running the economy. I just can't. But I do remember that this was brought up recently again when I was in Netherlands. It was brought up again. So I guess it is more meaningful for me that the event of 2011 and the trade centers. Recently when I did an episode about Uranus going into the 22nd degree, it was September 11, 2023, and I was like, oh, but I don't like, but the thing is that it's probably bearing certain meaning in my life in a way that I do not know to predict yet, regarding to trade and regarding to a world economy and politics and the things that we invest in, that I just, it's probably not that I was talking to this person, but that the world trades. Oh my gosh, I almost forgot. When it happened in Israel, it was 8 a.m., okay? And it was morning. No, it was, I don't remember if it was morning in the United States or morning in Israel. And oh my God, the planes, the first plane crashed, and I thought it was an accident. And I was like, oh my God, what a stupid pilot. There is this, later I would know that there's in Netherlands, there's this series called Idioten op de Race. So I was thinking of like Idioten op de Race. And then when the second one came crashing, I was like, oh my gosh, this is not an accident. And I really felt this sinking feeling. It was very dramatic to me. I was a child. I was 12. No, not 12, more than that. It was 2001. I was born in 84. I was 13, 14. No, 16, 17. 16, 17. Numbers. 16, 17. Um, but I remember this, and I was like, it going from, oh my gosh, what a stupid pilot, to poof, okay, this was not an accident, and that being kind of like memorable. And with that, I had to go to work, so I went to work, and this person is being jolly that many people there, and I'm like, I asked him if he's fucked up, and I might have asked that in English. It could be that I said, "Are you fucked up?" or something like that. Because I was like emotional and very shocked. Um, so yeah, and it apparently this incident is way more dramatic in my particular life than I understand. I know I was thinking about it in Netherlands, and I was thinking about trade and world politics, and that there are a lot of forces that were seeing this operation as what we call fair trade. When we understand what we invest in, I think that we all need a tremendous amount of awareness and compassion to change that. Um, but definitely, the more you learn about economy, the more you understand that there's just more things that I perhaps there's like I don't know. I would probably need to do an episode on September 11. Um, yeah, it's just wow. So then we had 2006 and 2009 again. Um, 2019 coming up. Oh, but this is almost like the lot of fortune here is almost like the lot of courage with the periods. Pre-LB culmination. Am I still working with Pluto or did I change that? No, it's not Pluto. It's Zodiac releasing something else. Pre-LB 2019, December 29, which is almost the same period, November 8 and April. So a lot of courage and a lot of fortune are kind of like working similarly for me. Then we have a lot of spirit, which is kind of like the last one, almost the last one. And here the LB is in 2009. A lot of spirit, 2009 until 2010. I was leaving a job. We were leaving a city. I don't know. Yeah. So we have January 7, 2001, listed not September, until January 2nd, 2002, pre-LB. This is Gemini period. LB in 2009. Then the next LB is in 2029. We had January 28, 2020, pre-LB for a lot of spirit. Probably this would be the beginning of the cast. Me doing Spirit of Matter, we speaking up yet again. And we are pretty much cool until 2025. I have a culminating period for the lot of spirit. So I did not have a peak period when Uranus was on my lot of spirit, which is 22 degrees Taurus. Yeah. Like we are still in the Aquarius L3 in the L1, which it's the L1 with the Cancer period. And we are in the Aries period of it, in the Pisces period of it. So a lot of spirit, nothing much, maybe working on my feet and tending to my feet, and that's that. So, and the last lot that I'm not gonna do Nemesis, because like, please no, Eros, enough, let's do some romance. It's not romance in my case. Yes. Again, 1993. And 1996 culminating. Eros, 1996. I don't remember. 2015. Yeah, me being Me Too veteran. Thank you very much. Um, Liberating from myself from oppression. And 2021, June 21. Ooh, I know what happened then. But this was around before that even. Yes, I had some weird astral experience from someone that I don't know who they were, or if somebody was doing shape shifting, but I had an astral affair with someone I don't even know who they were. So this was funny. And then until June 16, 2022. Yes, this was pretty much where it was. And my 6th is my birthday. I'm going to have a loosening of the bonds 2024, my 6th. And the level 2 is in Sagittarius. Oh, some freedom is needed. Hopefully it will be good charts, huh? Good charts. I want good things. Good charts. Nourishing love, revolutionary love, joyous love, all that. Safe, trust that is actually good, and all that. Um, so yeah, but that's for my lot of errors. But it's definitely working. Like with the 2021, I can get what was around that time, a bit earlier than that. But yeah, right, 2021. I'm not mistaken. Yeah, that is interesting. Um, Very interesting. So yes, it's like from the bad stuff hopefully to the good stuff. But this was my lot of errors. I don't remember having any interesting affairs in 1993 when I was born in 1994. So, and what I do remember is not something that I wish upon you. So, but it's definitely affected my ability to experience eroticism. So yes, this is one interesting period, and this is releasing, and so we have these lots for releasing, and then we released from a sign. Yeah. What do nemesis? Okay, this is what happens when you do concrete event astrology. You can't resist it. Now, what did we have again? September. Again, this September for appearing 1993, 1998. Yes, I know. 2009, 2019. Oh, absolutely. 2023 is the same as the other lots. I don't. Whatever. Nemesis, yes, like it makes sense that the courage and the fortune and the nemesis will have similar times, because I don't know if you delineate from the same from similar planets, but because you need courage when you deal with nemesis. Imagine that your lot of nemesis is your psychologist that you come to heal. You know, like this is your lot of nemesis. Oh my god! This is the peak period. You're going to therapy? Come on! I was taking responsibility of my life. Ah! So annoying. But anyway, people have far worse situations. That was the um, loosening of the bonds and zodiac releasing, kind of like on the spot, and you can actually see periods. And when you get, if you have the exact like on the minute, then you can get to on the day, and perhaps even more, or on the hours of a certain event. I'm not going to even try. And I guess this is also how you do rectification. um, so the thing with those things is that you're tempted to go, and you're tempted to find out, and this is concrete event astrology. Stuff are gonna lead to stuff are gonna lead to stuff, and the data just gathers. So it's also something to take into consideration when we do this type of astrologies that are actually, the actual events that happen in your life. And with a lot of fortune, it's kind of like something's gonna happen in your life. So yeah, thank you, Christopher, for the information on the lots of Unravelling that involves Pluto, which is an outer planet. And that is very interesting because we think about the lots as traditional planets, but now we can also computate things with the outer planets, and that is very exciting. So yeah, right now we have Mars night and Sun hour, and end this broadcast. So thank you for studying life with me.